When you complain, as he said he was doing with Brian Dobson, you should have told him everything.
Yes, and
he didn't.
I want to come to why he mightn't have done that. Now, the reason why, probably, given the chaotic accounting systems that they had, that he doesn't come clean and say, and I think that he should, basically face the fact that in the political culture of the time, he may as well come clean about it. You couldn't modernise your political machine without private covert donations. Now, covert donation is not a corrupt donation. It's just somebody doesn't want his name on the thing. Bertie Ahern built up a private war chest. So did many Fine Gael TDs. But what the media is hypocritical about is saying that money to him, that he trousered money meant for Fianna Fáil, when a pound to Fianna Fáil in his constituency obviously had to go to Bertie Ahern. A pound to Bertie Ahern went to Fianna Fáil because there was no distinction, particularly in Bertie Ahern's life, between the personal and the political. Never has been. He canvassed, when he was president of the EU, he canvassed his constituency. He left the Stormont negotiations. He left his mother's gravesite for Stormont negotiations. He has almost no family life. He's always put politics first. So the personal is the political in his life.
That we're viewing this through the prism of 2008. It was not the same prism in 1994.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I do think the mid-90s were a different time. And I do think that, you know, thousands of pounds and money flows in and out in political donations. And I do believe there's a margin there, Senator Harris, where you can, you know, be flexible and not be priggish and not be, you know, jumping on people for pennies and halfpennies. The fact of the matter, though, Pat, is that in 1994, Mr. Ahern received 138,000 punts, which was more than twice his salary. He lodged that amount of money in 1994 when he was Minister for Finance. It's a vast amount of money. But let the tribunal get to the bottom of these matters. I can't preempt the tribunal's findings, and I don't want to. I don't think that's the issue. And I think it's up to Bertie Ahern to go when he wants to go. I don't say he's corrupt. What I do say is that I simply don't believe the evidence is given under oath in Dublin Castle. Therefore, I agree with Jean Kerrigan and Alan Ruddock and many other journalists that it appears that the Taoiseach is a perjurer. And it also appears, because he's the only member of Dáil Éireann who doesn't have a tax clearance certificate, that he's not kosher with the tax people. Now, everyone else in this country is subject to these laws. And I have a concern. I don't like witch hunting. And I don't like jumping on a man when he's down. And I feel considerable respect for Mr. Ahern. He's delivered peace in this country. He's presided over 3 coalition governments and done it brilliantly. He was an outstanding president when we had the European project. There's a lot of good things to be said about Bertie Ahern. And I would not want to say bad things or slander the man.
So what's he guilty of, so Eamon? What's his crime?
Well, I think his crime appears to be, Owen, that he has not been truthful from the beginning.
And why do you think he might not have been truthful? Isn't it most likely to be in the realm of, in the matter of fundraising to modernise his constituency, as Noel Whelan says, the most professional organisation are topping the poll? He may have cut corners, chaotic finances, and there's a question of tax avoidance. Just let me finish this. But if he's tax avoider, he's in very good company. Actually, he's in the company of Judge Alan Mahon, who in 1992 settled with the Revenue Commissioners for €60,000 and didn't reveal it to 2002-03, when Phoenix were about to publish it. And doesn't it bother you that a man is sitting in judgment on Ahern, who himself was not tax compliant, and is wagging righteous fingers at the Taoiseach?
Well, this is all very true, and there's no question about it, that what the whole tribunal culture is a priggish attempt to impose retrospectively a contemporary morality on times that were different, in which politicians went around with their pockets bulging with money to buy drinks for people. It was all their own money, it was the party's money, it didn't matter. That's all absolutely true. This is the difficulty. The difficulty is now in speaking from that culture, from within that culture, to the one which is now rampant in this society. How do you actually explain yourself coming from that culture to the culture which is now literal about everything?
You're dead right. Now, and one of the signs of that with the younger journalists, for example, is the extraordinary double standards applied to Ahern. The money that Eamon talks about, let's say, put it at the Sunday Times figure, that there's €200,000 kind of washing through his accounts, which I mostly think, by the way, is salary, because in the previous 7 years, he earned £269,000 and is a very frugal liver and a very heavy saver. But leave that aside. Younger journalists, the younger cub reporters who shout at this or best Taoiseach in years on the streets. They'll shout out the kind of slogans behind them. They are so mellow about the fact that Gareth Fitzgerald had bad debts of €200,000, exactly the same figures Ahern is accused of, written off by his pal Peter Sutherland, the chairman of Allied Irish Banks at the time, back in 1993, and it doesn't bother the media at all, and they don't report it, yet they hound Ahern day and night about exactly the same sum of money. Is that not a double standard?
But that is in the public domain. This is not.
It's all in the public domain. I'm not saying Gareth Fitzgerald did anything wrong. I'm saying the worst crime that Bertie Ahern might be guilty of is that in building that modern political machine that topped the poll, he cut corners, he kept chaotic accounts, and he might be not tax compliant. No, that is not corruption.
But the logic is in train now, Owen. You know, the party has started to withdraw its support because it knows he cannot explain himself. It knows he's not capable. Not that he doesn't have some kind of morality on his side, but that he cannot speak to this new culture. Therefore, they are withdrawing from it. There's a second reason why they're withdrawing, because he has said himself that he's not going to be around for the next election. Therefore, Fianna Fáil will be loyal to a leader that it needs, that it is going to depend on. It has no reason to be loyal to Bertie Ahern other than loyalty itself. And I don't think that will be strong enough here.
But if Fianna Fáil gives them Ahern's head, they will come for Cowan. They're already coming for Cowan tonight. This is the new media culture. Sensational, no barriers, going for girlfriends, shouting at old women. They are building circulation and they are coming for Cowan, and they will come for the next leader of Fianna Fáil. That's why Fianna Fáil should stand up to this media campaign until hell freezes over if necessary, for the sake of Irish democracy.
I'm glad. It's great to hear Owen. He works for the Sunday Independent, by the way, standing up for standards in journalism.
Well, it's a broad church and it allows all range of opinions, as you know.
It's great. Of course it's a broad church, Owen. I do think there's another factor, and it's an important factor. It's the political element of it. And Mary Harney and John Gormley felt compelled to speak this week. I think the Fianna Fáil people coming out and saying that they believe the story that Bertie Ahern is telling the tribunal is tarnishing politics, because they're making themselves look stupid. I mean, nobody believes the story he's telling. And however he got himself into this mess, and it is him, Owen, who got himself into this mess, not the media, him. However he got in...
a change of political culture got him into the mess,
hold on.
But Owen, do you accept that maybe you're not getting
he's in a mess.
The facts from Bertie, because it is impossible for him now to actually tell it as it was?
I believe that he's telling the truth as he sees it, but I believe he's not giving the full picture.
Excuse me. What's the truth as he sees it?
The truth as he sees it...
Is it the truth?
It's like, as you see a car crash, you see it from your point of view. As he sees it, he has done nothing wrong, and all of this is clear in his head. To us, we say, well then, where's the 15,000 sterling, let's say, come from? And I say, the most likely thing is, it's 3 tranches, by the way, of 5,000, and not a big fat lump sum. Like, there's a million reasons where that come from. Like, fellas going to Cheltenham wouldn't even consider 5,000 small change. He could have put money in a horse. He could have got a donation in Manchester for his political campaign. I'm not saying it was on a horse. I'm saying a guy in Manchester could have given him 2,000. He was going over to see he's constantly travelling to Britain. He's going in and out. And I'm not saying it's not a covered political donation as part of it. I'm just saying in that total mess, it is not easy for him to come clean about the culture and the way that politics were before 1995 without running against a generation of cub reporters who want everything in black and white.
There is one thing I'd